I'm gonna get it out of the way. Yes, the GT 710 sucks. There's no way around it. Ever since it's been released all the way until now, it's just been pretty bad. Like there's no redeemable qualities about it. But that's looking at the negative sides of this GPU. Of course, it's not good at all for gaming. It's not a gaming GPU, but what can you do with a GT 710? Alright, going over the specs I'll be using today to test this monster of a GPU. We have a B450M HDV, and of course we have an SSD with Windows 10 Pro, and paired with that we have a Ryzen 7 3700X, and yes, I know the CPU is pretty overpowered for this, but we have to tame the beast that is the GT 710, so clearly we need this CPU. And following that, we have a 16GB kit of DDR4, 3200MHz RAM, and of course we have the monster itself, the GT 710. This all comes together to be peak gaming performance. Anyways, let's get on with the performance. Now first, I'm going to start out with probably what most people will use this GPU for, and that's just general standard usage. You know, just browsing the web, doing some miscellaneous stuff here and there. And while it definitely wasn't exactly 100% the snappiest experience ever, it was doable. I don't think it hindered me too much. And yeah, I made a thumbnail, so that's cool, I guess. I also managed to get some YouTube watching done, which I know, shocker, it's crazy. But yeah, I was able to crank the resolution up to 1440p, which is my monitor's native resolution. That's why I'm running my monitor at in this testing, and it seemed to be doing pretty good, although the GPU usage spiked pretty high while we were using 1440p, so I went ahead and kicked it down to 1080p, and it seemed to level out a bit. Still pretty high for just watching a YouTube video, but I guess that's what you would come to expect from this GPU. So although a lot of videos nowadays use AV1, which would actually rely on CPU and spike your CPU usage, because the 710 doesn't have AV1 decode support, so keep that in mind. But for VP9, which is what my video is encoded in this case, the 710 is clearly doing it, as you can see. But overall, just general web browsing and just general usage, I had little to no problems with the 710. It's pretty much what it's designed to do, and yeah, it's fine, I guess. But all that stuff is just boring. I want to see how this thing can game. This is going to be painful. Okay, I'm posted in the system on Steam, and we're here to see exactly what we can do in terms of gaming on the GT 710. Now, I don't have super high hopes for this at all, because it's the GT 710. It's pretty bad, but believe it or not, there are worse GPUs out there, so maybe it has a chance of providing some sort of enjoyable gaming experience for us today. I'll decide that, but yeah, let's go ahead and see what we can play. Now, we'll go ahead and state the obvious. We're not going to be playing any sort of AAA games today, anything released in probably the past like 10-ish years. I don't think they'll even launch, but we can try. Okay, I press play, and it's launching. Hold on, it might actually be launching. Wait a minute, there's no way. It's just a red screen so far. Give it a second. There's no way it's gonna launch. I can feel it in my bones. It's gonna die. Yep. And there we go. That red screen gave me some misplaced hope, but yeah, it's not gonna work out in Silent Hill 2 Remake, unfortunately. So on to the next game. Now, it wouldn't be a video of mine if I didn't try and play some Resident Evil 4 Remake. So let's see if that'll launch. All right, I press play. It is loading, hopefully. Okay, might be a bit. Hold up now. Maybe we're making some progress here. It's launching. And no, it's not gonna launch. So that's another game we cannot play, unfortunately, on the GT 710. Pretty obvious, but whatever. Now, those I definitely expected not to run, but this is an older title. It's Doom 2016. So maybe it has a chance of actually running, but probably not very well. Let's just see what it does real quick. Now, I am attempting to launch this at 1440p, so maybe that's a mistake. Wait a minute, it's launching. It's the intro, and it's launching at a window, so it's not 1440p, luckily. I knew it would be a bad idea to try and do that, so I'm glad it's not doing that. Okay, it seems like we're going through the usual menus, so maybe we have a chance of playing a 9-year-old AAA game. That's funny. All right, so as for the video settings we're using all low settings with a 50% resolution scale, and that's at 720p, so half of that. And I believe we're basically as low as we can go. Oh yeah, and there's my little menu. I forgot about that, but that's probably not too important. It's gonna be bad anyway. But let's go ahead and see how we're gonna do in Doom 2016. Okay. So off the bat, we're looking at a nice 24. It's cinematic, guys. It's cinematic. What the shut up. Honestly, it's running better than I thought it would, and that's not really saying much. I mean, it's still running terrible, but this is 360p, and we're getting a solid cinematic 24. Oh, 31. Okay, maybe this is actually playable. Holy crap. I'm actually kind of surprised at this GPU right now. And we're gonna go ahead and go around here and try to shoot some demons and see if it drops frames at all. But honestly, so far, I mean, it doesn't look wonderful. It's pixelated, but it's better than I expected for sure. This game actually holds up pretty well for a 9-year-old game running at the low settings. So yeah, okay, it's dropping right now. I can't... It's starting to drop a little bit, but we're still in the realm of kind of playable-ish if I can actually hit my shots. There we go. Yeah, we're definitely dropping into the lower 20s every now and then, but I mean, it's still impressing me what this GPU is giving me right now, honestly. The 3700X is actually putting up more work than I thought it would, so that's interesting. But I mean, hey, that's just because the 710 is so powerful, obviously. You know what? I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Even though it drops pretty low at times, it's way better than I ever thought it would be. So that's definitely something to consider here. Let me just, oh my god, it's definitely dropping here a bit. Obviously, the 3700X is holding it back, guys. It can't handle the power of the GT 710. I'm still having fun here, and I think that is probably all that matters. You know, as long as you have fun, I think you're winning, okay? You're having a great time playing Doom 2016 on this good old GT 710. We're having a good time here. In all seriousness, though, I'm definitely impressed at what I'm seeing from the GT 710 here. Maybe it's going to be better than I thought it would. I don't know. We'll see about that. This is definitely a pretty optimized game, as you can tell. Like, this is actually kind of crazy what we can do with the 710 here. Okay, it's dropping pretty low, but it's still, the graphics look okay. Maybe. Alright, I think that Doom has overstayed its welcome, so let's try the next game real quick. Alright, I'm gonna try to run some Minecraft dungeons here. It's not Minecraft, and it runs them, I believe, like Unreal Engine 4, so it might be a little intensive for this GPU, but let's see how it does. Unfortunately, I'm launching this at 1440p, so I don't have high hopes for it, but I'll try and lower the resolution. Oh yeah, this is wonderful. A nice crisp 3 FPS. Bro, my wrists are sweating right now just looking at this crap. Okay, I did it. We are now down to 720p, and we are on the fastest graphics settings. So, okay, that's not gonna be great. Hold up. Are there any, like, resolution scalers that I can use? No? Oh god, this is gonna be bad. Anyways, let's try this at a nice 11 FPS. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, we are in the little, like, area where you choose where to go. We're gonna, you know, like 25 FPS. It's a little more cinematic. Yeah, let's go to like the final level on the overworld. At least I think that's what it is. Okay, we are in, and actually, you know what? We're running at like 30 FPS right now. It's doing better than I thought it would, considering the little main menu running at like 10 FPS. But hey, this is actually, for this kind of game, pretty playable. I won't lie. I feel like these kinds of games kind of don't really need a super high FPS because you're kind of just clicking and dragging, and yeah, you don't really need super high response times. I was expecting it to drop a lot more, and it still can because a lot of enemies come on screen at once, the pause, and I just have a feeling it'll drop a lot once that happens, so let's wait until we get further in. But as of now, it's definitely a playable experience. I'm not complaining. I'm about to die though, holy crap. The sad thing is the Switch probably runs this game better than the GT 710. Wow. We got some more enemies on the screen right now, and it's getting a little lower, but still definitely playable. I'm not angry at all at this experience. I can happily play this game at probably like even 20 FPS if I had to. Okay, yeah, I think once we get to bigger and more open areas with more enemies, I think it'll start dropping a bit more, because this room right here, we're getting like 26 FPS, but even then, I still think it's a playable experience for this type of game. Alright, I decided to load up a more densely populated map with more foliage, so I want to see how the 710 handles that, and so far, we're definitely dropping lower. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's getting up there a little bit. I think the trees mostly have something to do with it. Oh yeah, there's definitely a bit of enemies on screen at once, and you know what, it's handling it pretty good. I'm not too upset at what I'm seeing right now. I'm never too angry, you know? I'm just a very happy guy. But yeah, I definitely think this game is more than playable on this GPU. I was a bit apprehensive seeing the 10 FPS in the main menu, but I think we're doing pretty good in this game, so that's good. If you had to play this game on this GPU, it's doable. Let's see how the next game does. Okay, we are playing some Fallout New Vegas at the 720p resolution with the low preset, and I'm actually surprised to see 60 FPS right now. I don't know why. Maybe I'm more accustomed to the GT 610 dying, but I didn't expect it to be getting a solid 60 right now. I'm very happy about that. And we're not even maxing out the GPU right now, so we have some headroom to up the settings or maybe even the resolution. I'm actually pretty happy with this right now. I mean, it's an old game, I know, but this is a potato GPU. You know, I'm any game that we can run at 60 FPS, I'm happy, okay? Now, granted, we are in the wasteland right now, not near any major civilization, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm just happy to see that nice, silky smooth 60 FPS frame rate. It's awesome. But yeah, this is definitely an older game, but it's still a lot of fun to play. It's timeless. It's a great game. And you can experience it with a pretty good frame rate on the GT 710. So yeah, if you're going to be doing any gaming on the 710, this is definitely a great choice. And definitely one I would play if I were forced to play on this godforsaken GPU. Alright, we're trying something a little stupid here. We're going to be playing this game at 1440p. Oh, wait a minute. We're actually getting like 45th. Okay, bro, this is crazy. I am not gonna lie. I did not expect it to actually be in the 40 FPS range right now. What the hell? I am actually really happy with this right now. I thought maybe it would be like a 30-ish FPS average, maybe a little more cinematic than this, but this is actually doing great. It's not a silky smooth 60 FPS like before, but it's definitely far from 30. Like, it's like in the 40 to 50 range. It's kind of nice. And yes, this is still at the low preset, but it looks pretty sharp for what it is. I think the resolution makes up for that. If I had to play this game at 1440p, I would probably do a 30 FPS cap. That would probably be a good idea here. But yeah, anyways, Fallout New Vegas, good game to play on this GPU. Probably a little overkill playing at 1440p, but it's cool nonetheless. I would probably do like medium settings at 1080p to have a good mix between resolution and graphical fidelity. And yeah, it turns out that the 710 can actually handle this game decently well. So on to the next game. Okay, so the next game we're trying is Lethal Company. Now, this is probably the newest game we're going to be trying today, purely because of its art style. I hope it's decently easy to run, but the 710 will have to decide on that, because, yeah. Okay, so this game is a little goofy. I don't see any, like, resolution settings. You just have the windowed mode, and you have to drag it to however you like. Okay, so I did a little configuration thing, and I think we're running at 720p. I don't think it really matters, though, because, we're not looking too hot. And this is just in the stupid little space thing. I expected more out of this game, honestly. I thought it would run better, but I guess the 710 just sucks. Alright, we're landing. Oh my god. We're going into the single digits. Are you serious, bro? I'm actually really surprised at how bad this is running right now. Okay, well, I guess this is what happens when you try to play modern indie games on this little GPU. Not all of them are like this, but this one in particular kind of seems a little intensive for the 710. And here I was thinking I could try maybe 1440p, but that's not gonna happen. I can already assure you that. Let's see if the inside has any better frame rate real quick. And no, it's about the same. A little bit better. Instead of like 8, we're getting like 12, you know, that's great. Probably not playable, unfortunately. I mean, or maybe there's some configurations you can do that will let you make the graphics worse. But as far as I can see, there's not really any graphical quality options, unfortunately. It's really a shame because this is one of those games that would be perfect for a little GPU like this. Maybe some people could play this game like this. I definitely don't think it's doable considering the outdoor areas get you like 8 FPS, and that's one of the smaller maps. I cannot imagine trying to run the bigger moons on this GPU. That's gonna be not good. This room in particular seems a little intensive. Maybe it's the lighting and the fan, some ray trace shadows. And obviously outside is just, oh my god, bro, this is bad. Well, it's unfortunate, but I don't recommend playing this game on this GPU. It is what it is. It happens sometimes. But hey, I'm sure there's another low quality indie game that will save the day, right? And of course, that game is Minecraft. Now, this is definitely an interesting one because I know Minecraft is pretty CPU intensive, so the 3700X might actually help here a bit, but it's still within the realm of what the GPU can handle. It's still going to be the bottleneck, so yeah. Anyways, we're playing at these settings here. I think it's a pretty fair balance for this GPU. And we are playing at the 1080p resolution for now. That might change depending on how good or bad it performs, but for now, 1080p is pretty fair, I think. And of course, we are playing with Optifine just for the performance enhancements, because the 710 needs it, let's be honest. Okay, we are in the game at 1080p, and so far, you know what? This is pretty nice. Now, of course, I know it's Minecraft. It's not the prettiest game in the world. It has a nice art style to it. And it's still at a semi-decent resolution. 1080p is still the most popular resolution resolution in the world, although the render distance could definitely be a little better, but whatever. As far as it is now, I don't think that this is a bad experience at all, but no, I definitely think I could get away with doing a little Minecraft playthrough on this GPU so far. Now, I definitely think the performance would falter a little bit if you turn the render distance up, or if you maybe build like a huge giant build. Oh, that's a cool little thing over there. Wow. But yeah, 1080p, I think we're doing pretty fair here, and I don't think that the 710 is a bad choice for this game. This is probably one of the better games you can play on this GPU, and it's doing pretty good at 1080p, so I can't really complain here, honestly. But you know what? I think we should try a little higher of a resolution, and that resolution is 1440p. And you know what? So far, it's actually looking pretty playable. I'm not gonna lie, I expected it to drop a little more. We're still getting around 60-ish. It's definitely not 60 anymore. It's hovering around the 50 to 60 range so far. And again, if we up the render distance, it might be a little more intensive, or it will be a little more intensive, because that's just how it works. But yeah, I'm actually surprised to say this. You can do 1440p gaming on a GT 710. Is that crazy to you? It's crazy to me. But I guess it's still Minecraft at the end of the day. I don't even want to think about trying a shader pack right now. Yeah, I could definitely foresee myself still having a fun time with this resolution, with this frame rate. I don't think that this is a hindrance at all, especially for a easier to play game like Minecraft. It's not too crazy. I'm definitely liking the bump in resolution I'm getting versus 1080p, so that's good. You know what? I'm happy here. I'm happy at how this is doing, but let's ruin it real quick. We're gonna try some shaders. All right, I'm loading up the Solders Light shader pack, and we're still at 1440p. I know, bold move, and as you can see, we're not looking too good here. This is about how it was running in Lethal Company outside, so I'm going to scale it down a little bit. All right, we're running at 0.5 times the resolution of 1440p, which is 720p, and we're still hovering around the 20-ish FPS range. This is more intensive than Doom. I think it's safe to say don't use shaders on this GPU, or at least not these particular shaders. There might be another one out there that's a bit more light than this one, but this is the one I use for the most part, and you know what? It's not looking too bad. It's looking good for a light shader pack, but it's still not what I would consider playable, unfortunately. All right, I did the unthinkable. I brought it down to 720p, and it's still basically the same. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. And I think it's safe to say shaders with Minecraft on this GPU probably don't do it. But if you just want to play normally without shaders, with Optifine, you can do it just fine, obviously. This is a pretty easy to run game for the 710. So, in conclusion, how does the GT 710 hold up in 2025? Well, I'm surprised to say this, but it still has some uses. Obviously, it's not the best in any regard at all, but it's still definitely viable for some basic computing needs, and I don't think it should be completely considered useless. It's definitely usable, kinda. Obviously, for general things like web browsing and some YouTube watching, it's completely fine. It will get you by just fine, and you can even edit some thumbnails, so cool. But when it comes to more intensive things like video editing or gaming, I would say it's okay as long as you temper your expectations, because obviously you're not going to be playing any of the latest, greatest games out there. That's just not possible on a GPU of this tier. Not just because the 710 is weak, but also because it just refuses to launch some of the newer games, because that's how it works. It's old. But for the older games or newer indie, easier to run games, it is kind of viable. It's kind of all over the place depending on the game. Like Lethal Company runs like dookie fart. It's the worst running game we tested today. But then you have a game like Minecraft where you can play even at 1440p and it's still very playable. So it's a very interesting case of it depends. Not all games are going to run equally, obviously, and it's really just dependent upon what your individual needs are. And I think for maybe like a kid who just wants to play some simple Minecraft or Roblox, I think it's mostly fine. Just don't have super high expectations, please, because you will probably be disappointed, unfortunately. But yeah, if you ever have the misfortune of being stuck with a GT 710, at least you can do some of these things on it, and I guess it's possible to have some fun on it, so that's cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.
A big thank you to all my channel members that have decided to give me their money and support my channel. I really appreciate that. If it weren't for them, I would not be making these videos, so thank you.